Welcome, dear ones, to another weekly session of Wild Cafe, your energetic dates. And as always, this is Mia Ashtara, transmitting and channeling from the Council of the Light, from the clusters of beings of the Arcturians, the Plaeidians, the Syrians, and these transmissions are aimed at helping you in your path of enlightenment and awareness so that they give you clarity as to the best next steps for you to make. Even though we are in a very tumultuous, and we say this positively, as in it is chaotic, but in a very positive way, tumultuous times and tumultuous earth. This is not only because there are two kind of bigger set of timelines that are being played in order to decide which of them timelines we are as a collective going to follow, but also because things have sped up and everything is happening at the speed of light almost. Everything is happening very quickly, and events, synchronicities, miracles, shifts, breakthroughs, changes in timelines, quantum jumping, quantum leaping is taking place at a phenomenal rate because more and more individuals have awakened to this inner power, and so they are utilizing it, which means that what before was veiled is no longer veiled, and with that unveilment it means that time is being worked, that time is being bent, and that the access to the different quantum levels and the different time frames and timelines is very readily available for many individuals. And the more you do that, the more individuals do that, and the more it is able to be accessed by others, which means that one mind, the collective, is unifying into this oneness field. And as we are all co-creating this world, we are enhancing the potential and the level of awareness that can be tapped into. Obviously, the message is here. This is Mia Ashtara, and Council of the Light has taken through, hoping that this message is beneficial for you and that aids you in your path. We shall continue, Mia. The messages are very strong and very powerful, and as you have deciphered over this past week with the confirmation that you had with the other messages that you received from external vessels, your messages are being received in the utmost of clarity and awareness. So we are communicating with you in the most purest and clearest way, so as to create the ripple effect that we are wanting to create here. And with this awareness, we would like to give you the message for the following week. As you may know, if you have listened to our channeled messages from the past few weeks, the focus, the main aim was for you to really pay attention to joy, to what brings you happiness, to what lights you up, to what sparks your fire, your passion, and simply follow it. And sometimes it is easier said than done, even though now you humanoids are able to tap into this desire more and more readily because you have done the inner work. And this means that you are passing down a different pathway, a different neural pathway into even the newer, younger generations, which means the whole ripple effect that is taking place is that more and more individuals are okay. They are getting accustomed to feeling that it is all right, that it is the best for each and every one of you to be selfish. And in that selfishness, you create selflessness. So you create selflessly by being selfish. When you tap into and you tune into this selfishness of tapping into your joy, tuning into enjoyment, really experiencing life at its fullest with the meaning that it has for you, whether that is going to the beach, whether that is reading a book, whether that is spending time with your pets or with your son, or cooking. There are so many different ways and opportunities that humanoids have in this planet Earth to tap into joy. And that is what we are here to remind you of, that the more you do that, the more you spark your light, and the more these selfish actions create selflessness in the world, because the surplus of love, of joy, of enjoyment that you have in your inner being is transpassed, it's transmitted, it's ripple affected into the whole collective and into those who are watching you, interacting with you. So the positivity that you radiate is being expanded, felt, and then also mirrored by those who are around you. This is why it is so important that the bringers of the change keep changing their belief system and structure so as to tap into joy the more that they can possible, so that within this anchoring of their pillar in groundedness of love, of compassion, of awareness, of the knowing of their own divinity, they create a ripple effect that is expanded into the whole collective. No one else can do this for you, and no one else can better do it for the collective than the bringer of the change. This is because we have been chosen, you have been chosen, in order to anchor in order to be those pillars that ground in the higher essence, the higher frequencies. You have got the codings within you, you were born with them, and these codings are now being ripped open as the crystalline grid is being anchored into this new earth field. Then these bringers of the change who are ready to shine and radiate their light, they are here to expand this essence so as for others to become one. This was the mission for you for the past couple of weeks. And we mentioned last week as a reminder that it was important that you did work on, if that's what you want to call it. It is not a work, it is simply a focus of your attention, placing your mindfulness, your undivided attention onto the field of correcting, redirecting, and readdressing your unhealthy past beliefs, behaviors, attachments, cords, and negative, dense emotions that no longer serve, those that are unhealthy, those that were bringing you down, and hence were bringing the collective down. We no longer need that. We no longer want that. And so, if you are ready to do the, let's say, inner work, then the more you can work on this, the more you can acknowledge what is going on, and then accept it, release it, relinquish it, and change it with some other more positive beliefs, visualizations, visions. The more you can activate that in your field, and with that radiance of your heart chakra, with that speaking of the truth, with that seeing with your third eye, and the connection, the undivided connection with the divine, you can root and ground and willpower. So exert your willpower, your confidence in that what you're doing is right, that you are seated in your moral values, in your coding, in the light codes and energetic codes that run through your vessel, which you have been encoded to pass down onto the new generation and generations to come, and generations that are already here, for it to be expanded into the crystalline grid of the new earth. Why is this so important? Because the more individuals who do it right here, right now, the more this crystalline grid is able to be grounded, the more time it takes, and the less power that this is put on, the obviously the less body, the less density that this crystalline grid has, even though it is ethereal, even though it is very light. But it needs a certain level of grounding embodiment for it to be crystalline and for it to be solidified into this new earth structure, so that it is easier for humanoids and for other races to tap into this crystalline earth grid field and access it. It is like the tree of life, or even like the Akashic tree of records, where you all tap into to receive the information, but that is grounded on love, on light, and on the one unity mind. So this is what is happening with the crystalline grid that is being now tempered in, anchored into the new earth. And the more of you individuals who are doing this constant energetic purging, clearing, and protection of this solidifying of the beautiful crystalline grid that is taking place in New Earth, the better, because it means that New Earth is being solidified, it is being anchored, it is being embodied by those who are tapping into her. And this means that other denser vibrations that were in planet Earth, which still are, whether that is from other planets, whether that is the interference from other frequencies and systems of alliances, solar and star systems, and even humanoids and other races that are also here interfering with planet Earth frequency grid. This means that that is dissipated because the solidity, the solidness of the crystalline grid is here grounded, and everyone can tap into it. So it is almost like the door of access. If you want to access the new earth, you need to write this code. You need to click in this code, and that code is really based on the foundation of the crystalline grid. So we are very grateful. We really, really thank you from the bottom of our hearts, from our spiritual nature, for all the energy, the input, the passion, the commitment, the devotion that you are putting as a bringer of the change into solidifying this new crystalline grid of the new earth. Because without it and without you, then the interferences from other frequencies that are in lower vibrations, that are in fear, in lack, in surrender to a power that is not that of the divine, would still be winning. We know it is not a mean task. It is not something that is for the lighthearted. And so we know that you have been chosen, and that you are here doing that for us, for the collective. So we are also, as Plaeidians, Arcturians here, colliding with you, if that is the word, to remind you to create this awareness of the remembrance of who you truly be in your own sovereign choice and power, so as to help you to keep grounded in your moral values, to keep grounded on that knowing of who you be and that power that you came here to transmit, so that you never forget and you always remember why you're here, what your mission is, and what your accomplishment is. Your accomplishment is not the audience. It is not how many followers you have on Instagram. It is not how many likes you have on YouTube. Your accomplishment is your mission. It is the inner knowing within your sacred heart that no matter what is happening in the external world, whether you're poor, whether you don't have an abundance of money yet, whether you are knowing that you can tap into and access a higher version of yourself that is still not totally fully anchored in, whether you know you can attract more people and more followers so that the message that you are spreading gets to them, whether you know you can access a palace or a bigger house, and right now you have a little car and a very modest unit. It doesn't matter. What really matters at this point in time is that you really, really trust in your mission, and that you really, really tune into the sacredness of your heart and the devotion to the sacredness of your mission, because that is how you show the divine that you are ready, you are committed, you are devoted, and you are doing your inner work, and you are working for the mission no matter what the external circumstances are still shadowing you or projecting you as the shadow of your past beliefs. This is about to change and collapse as everything collapses, as your whole world collapses. Bringer of the change, the whole world is collapsing. The old earth, the old Earth grids are no longer sustainable. They are no longer living. It is just a shadow effect of what is already in the making. It's already happened. It's already crumbled down. It's already dismantled. The pain, the fear, the suffering, the lack, the unawareness, the veil, the grace, the dark agendas, the hatred, the selfishness, the lies, that's all being crumbled down. The fiat system, it is no longer working. What we are seeing now from this higher lens is that this is just a ripple effect, the consequences of what once was, and maybe your mind can fathom this when we say that that stars are already they've already burned, they've already expanded their light thousands of millions of light years ago. And what you're seeing now is that consequence of another past timeline. This is what is happening here right now as you are solidifying and anchoring in your own sacred heart the sacredness of the crystalline grid. Then the consequences or the ripple effect of the old patterns of beliefs and structures that were embedded by and in the matrix are still in place because you haven't yet seen the consequences or the reality of it being crumbled down, of it being destroyed, dismantled, dissipated. But it is happening. It has already happened. You just have to get to that point of seeing it. And what happens to you, many of you bringers of the change, is that you come here with a vision that is avant-garde. This means that you are seeing before the event has happened. Why? Because you are visionaries, you are luminaries, you have a vision that is further ahead down the timeline. And depending on the choices, then this can change. But there are certain events that have already happened that cannot be changed. This means that the light prevails, the light is going to win, and the consequences of the dismantling of the fiat system, of the power control, the struggle, that's already happened. You just have to wait and see in faith that it is about to be unveiled and revealed, and that the mass awakening is obviously, as you know, already taking place, and that the visions that you were placed, that you were put into your mind, that you were put into your system, into your own encoding, will be. You just access them at a much higher speed and a present level that wasn't anchored in yet into the real timeline, if it makes sense. So know that you're on track. Know that the mission for this week, as you keep doing the tapping into your consciousness, into your joy, into your passion, and dismantling the old systems of beliefs that are unhealthy, that are no longer working for you, that are were creating doubt and fear, they're no longer valid in your sphere. Now you just command your queen, your king, you command this is how it is, because you are grounded in your divine essence. And in that sacredness of your heart, in that sacredness of the devotion of your mission, no matter what the external world is showing you and presenting you with, and in that sacredness of the communion with God, with the divine, and in seeing the better picture for the whole, you are here entitled to embody the new paradigm of the divine king and queen. What this means is that the purpose, the goal for this week is for you to believe and anchor in that you are worthy of this prototype, of this archetype of the divine king and queen. So no longer will you plead, will you beg, will you be unsure, doubting. You stand tall, you stand and command, because it is the power of the divine that is flowing through you for the betterment of the whole. And you are here for that betterment of the whole. So as you have responsibilities, tapping into the sacredness of your devotion, of your mission, you also reap the rewards, have benefits, have rights that you are allowed to receive, the money, the millions of dollars, the access to the quantum field, to the level of of resistance that is quickly unblocked, so as to access the beliefs that are necessary for your vision to become not only the visionary acquaintance that it was in your mind, but an actual reality that is embodied into the 3D. You are here for a mission. Let's acknowledge that. So, bringer of the change, keep tuning into tapping into your light, keep tuning into joy, passion, compassion, awareness, relinquishing the doubt and those who are forcing you or trying to resist your being in lower negative emotions. No longer want them in your timeline, in your time frame. And as you anchor in your higher time frames, then the rewards are coming to you. You may not see them as of yet right now, but they are here. They are being accessed in 3 to 1. They are coming. They are here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this transmission. As always, tap into, tune into us whenever you want to. This is such a beneficial journey for everyone involved, including us, who are really tapping into what it is to have more knowledge of the human vessel, of the human mind, of the human emotions, and of how we work together as a one mind field. Keep anchoring in the vision, keep anchoring in the mission, keep anchoring in the crystalline grid. You are doing a phenomenal work, bringer of the change. And we hope you have a blessed week. Much love.